It's intimidating. Like, I get the fear. I've felt that fear enough. But if you go in confident and you really just like take what's being given to you, it is hard though. It does. It's come easy to me, man. Like I believe in my motherfucking self. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about whether I'm gonna do it. But
Right. Welcome back to the Artful Dollar podcast. It's me, Ryan, artist, teacher, seeker, financial advisor, whatever you want to call me. I started this podcast to inspire people, artists, creatives. Maybe you're a spiritual healer or a tattoo artist. And I want to share people that inspire me. That's one of the things I aim to do with this podcast, is highlight people that I see are up to stuff, against all odds, rewriting the narrative of the broke, starving artist. And today's guest, Lana Kane, is exactly that type of person. She inspires the hell out of me. I think we all have all kinds of adversities that we face in our lives, all kinds of things that we can point the finger at and say, well, you know, my life isn't the way I want it to be because of X, Y, and Z. And something I always say is, where you place the blame is where you place the power. And Lana Kane is the type of person that she blames herself, and not in a beating herself up kind of way. She takes full responsibility for her art, for her business, for her life. And it is so enlivening and inspiring. And I wanted to share this conversation. She is someone that I have gotten an opportunity to work with as her coach, but I feel like I've learned as much from her as she has learned from me. And we just hang out, we talk shop, we talk tattoo shop, we talk coaching programs, we talk spirituality, education, and ultimately betting on yourself, investing in yourself, and the opportunities that become available out of doing that. So I'm excited to share this conversation with you. Check out Lana Kane on Instagram, and enjoy the show. Let's start here. So your apprentice has been apprenticing for 2 years, and they've never done a tattoo before till today.
they tattooed themselves 11 years ago. But yeah, as far as like the first tattoo of their official professional career, like today was their first day after 2 years. And
Is that how your apprenticeship went? Is that like, I'm just curious.
Oh, not even close. Not even close. My apprenticeship was 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on day one, we were tattooing.
I mean,
I'll be totally honest. That's how, not day one, but I've had a couple apprentices. I've had about 3 apprentices. They have all gone on to be wildly successful tattoo artists. And I had them come and observe for about a month before I had them tattoo themselves.
wow, that's quick.
This is how I look at it. I went to school for jewelry and metalsmithing.
Mm-hmm.
On day one, you get into the studio, and there's a torch and a saw and a power tools, and they're like, get in it, fucking light some shit up, you know? And it's dangerous, and there's, you know, risk involved, but that's how you fucking learn. You have the tools, you learn from action.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time in the Artful Dollar course, right?
Yeah. Oh, all the time.
You don't learn, I always tell you, you ain't going to learn a goddamn thing from any words that come out of my mouth. You're going to learn from taking action on the things that come out of my mouth.
Big
And
time.
so that was my whole idea with apprentices. I was like, honestly, I want you to understand cross-contamination enough to like not be gross. And then I'm going to watch you tattoo yourself. I'm going to point out every single time that you are disgusting, and I'm going to let you know. But that's the only way you're going to learn, is through doing that. Like, are they breaking down for me before that? Sure. Like we do that stuff, but like, just fucking get into it. And so I get it. There's a lot of tattooers out there who are going to hear me say that and be like, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. It's like, who fucking says?
Yeah. It doesn't like
who
everybody
made these rules? Who made these rules?
Situational.
It's situational.
Right? You know,
There's
so,
nothing wrong. I'm also
Right.
want you to know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the way that you're doing it either. I just think there is a lot of thought out there in tattooing around, this is the way tattooing is, and this is the way tattooing isn't. And if you're not doing it this way, then you're wrong. You're bad. You know?
Yeah.
And
There's tons of that out there.
Yeah,
And like
I don't think that's
it is
true.
all so situated. I feel like right and wrong are perceived in a weird way sometimes.
Right.
You know?
It's like the Big Lebowski. It's like, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah. Like yeah, that's just your opinion. That's how it
Right.
is. Like even in tattooing, like and this conversation with a few tattooers recently about just like the approach to a tattoo. Like it's situational. I'm not gonna approach every tattoo like this is how it needs to be done. Like
Right.
never am I gonna approach a realism tattoo like a traditional tattoo. Like it's a different. So it just yeah. It
Right.
depends, and
Like
I think that people should understand that leniency a little more and that idea.
totally.
But
When people ask like, "Oh, what needle grouping are you using?" or "What voltage are you running at?" You're like, "It doesn't fucking matter.
like you're asking the
None of
wrong
that
question.
shit matters.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
serious.
You're not. What are you gonna do with that information? You know, like,
Right.
yeah,
Like you can take it and like try and practice that, but that might just not be what's good for you, and that's okay. Like
right, yeah.
it's not like that
I
thing that works for
learned.
me works for everybody.
Right. There was one of the guys, because I never did a real apprenticeship. I was a body piercer for about 2 years in shops. And then I just sort of learned through osmosis, watching a lot of tattooers and closely watching them before I picked up a machine. And there was one guy, he used 8-round liners, like all the time, 8-round liners. And that's what I started working with, is 8-round liners. And they're cool. You ever use an 8-round?
Very rarely, but yeah.
They're kind of cool. They're like, I felt like they were like tattooing on easy mode. Like
Okay.
something about an 8-round is like you can't blow it out. I don't know why. I'm sure you can if you want, but like
Yeah. Oh, I
there's-
could if I tried. Don't you worry.
Right. But there's something about it. It was like, this is just if. And then whenever I use like a 7 or a 5, like something was different. But I found I couldn't get the finesse. I couldn't get the like the taper on a whip on a line. I definitely couldn't get like whippy dot work stuff with an 8. You can. It's just different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just something about the grouping. But yeah, it's one of those things where that's all this one guy used. And then, started fucking around with everything. I love switching my needle groupings up too.
Oh yeah. Like I just ordered like I've been pretty quadrant like heavy for some years now, but I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, fuck it. We're gonna hard switch to Black Claw. See what's like I've been trying their needles here and there.
Yeah.
But I'm switching it up and like their whole system is different. So
Yeah.
like having to translate like quadrant groupings to Black Claw groupings and like just seeing how that's gonna feel.
And how long you been tattooing now?
9 years. It'll be 9 years in November.
So you use like bar needles, coil machines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first couple of years were that, and then I got into one of my coworkers let me borrow a Bishop rotary, like
Sure.
the B6 back in the day.
I want to like cartridges and pens. And I think when I first started using them, because I did use them for a while, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But something about it, I couldn't connect with it the way I wanted to. I felt like it didn't have that whip, that whatever the slappy, whatever the way it's hitting the skin. Dan Cuban machines are like, that's my go-to. Dan Cuban with a bar needle. That's the only thing I'll use. That's the move. Yeah.
Dan Cubans are sweet. I've only used them like a small handful of times.
Yeah. You weren't immediately
friends.
just like, I need to do this. I need to get one of these.
I wasn't actually.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what it was about it.
Again,
and maybe it was
situational,
just like,
right? Situational.
Yeah, situational. Like it just didn't
Yeah.
feel like comfortable to me immediately because I was in a different place.
Yeah.
I use a machine that's kind of similar in build in that hybrid sense where it's got the armature bar going.
Yeah.
The Vlad. I've been using that thing for a couple of years. I love it.
Yeah, I've heard people really like that one too.
Yeah, it's good. I like the adjustable stroke, and I like that it's exposed, so I can see if there's anything wrong with it. Like, that's my jam.
Yeah,
I love that.
I was talking to Dan. I was telling you I was talking to Dan.
Yeah, you were just yep.
And we were talking about Sidewinders. First of all, I was like so honored to even get to talk to Dan Cuban because his machines changed my career, and we're gonna get him on the podcast. I'm super excited for that. Oh. But we were talking about like the Sidewinder machine is very much like a violin. You have to tune it in just right, and if the humidity or the weather, the way the sun's angle, the moon, the position of the
Where the
sky, like,
stars are.
yeah, you got to tune it on a little bit different. But I loved that because I felt like I could get just the right level of snappiness and speed for any different kind of skin or different location on the body. So yeah, it's an acquired taste though, for sure. Some people just want to like plug it in, throw it in, go. I liked like kind of sitting there and taking my time to like dial it in just right. Because then when you get it, ooh, it was just like,
Ooh, just like hit. Yeah,
it just hit. Yeah,
man. I think I'm about due for like a little bit of a machine swap, like new thing, because I've been using the same machines for a couple years now. I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking about picking coils back up again, honestly.
all right. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Has anything changed in the world of coils?
I mean, nothing like big to my knowledge. I'm
Right.
not an aficionado by any sense.
I used them for years, and I never felt like I found one that was as consistent all the time the way I wanted it to be. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't, again, the electromagnetic field in the air can affect it. I didn't have the control that the Cuban gave me to adjust it. I mean, the contact screw a little bit, but yeah, only so much.
I'm mostly curious with coils because I'm like, I haven't used them since so early on in my career, and like, I mean, in 6 years, 7 years, I've gotten so much better. So I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe player. I don't know. I'm a tad bored.
sure.
I'm
Hey,
just,
that's a good enough reason to just say,
yeah.
hey, let me just switch something up, you know?
Play with something else.
There were a couple times like people would like build me a machine and, you know, oh, let me try this out. And I'm going to get back into using coils. That's going to be awesome. And then I just didn't. I tried, but it didn't.
Didn't
So.
come to you. Didn't feel like it.
But great segue, smooth segue, like machines, and kind of what I was excited to talk to you about, right? Sometimes we just feel like we need to switch it up, and like our mindset, you know?
Yeah.
we
Like,
need to
smooth segue.
switch up, smooth segue. We need to switch up that machine that we're operating under. I like comparing things to coil machines too, because I don't know, I feel like most tattooers understand it, but yeah, you know, you got to tune it differently, you got to think. And so yeah, I was excited to have you particularly on the podcast because we have now worked together. When did you first take the Artful Dollar, Artful Marketer, one of them?
It was March. Beginning of March is when I started.
So March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay, so like 6 months ago or so.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've just seen you just totally become 3-4 different versions of yourself over that time. Like you've just expanded, you've leveled up, and like the minute I thought I knew who Lana was, like all of a sudden, like you're on this level, you're on that level. And so yeah, it's just been a joy to get to work with you and watch you grow. And I just wanted to have a conversation with you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a complete 180. I was actually just thinking about it the other day, where I was at coming into this year to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
It is night and day. It is absolutely night and day.
And we did a whole testimonial, so we don't have to get deep into it. But what was going on a year ago, you know?
I was coming out of a shop situation with a good friend. We had started a shop in my hometown that was really killing it, man. Like it really set a new standard, which is something I had always dreamed of. I was very proud of it, but as things go, you know, you open a business with a friend, it takes its toll. Personal drama comes in, business drama comes in.
The only ships that sink are partnerships.
Yeah. So that ship sank. It
Yeah.
good. And about the time that I was leaving that shop is when I had reached out about the Artful Marketer and the Artful Dollar.
Yeah.
So it came really right when I needed it. And it was what I needed to move and transition smoothly. And it was like that hard switch I was talking about earlier. Like I'm going to Black Claw from Quadrant. Like it was a hard switch. You know, whole new shop, whole new people, so much work to put in with everything that you were teaching. But now that I'm here 6-7 months out, it's like, I can't imagine where I'd be if that didn't happen. Like, it has been so important, everything that's happened. And when I was back in that situation, it felt just like the end of the world, just devastating.
because you were partnered, and then they kind of, I don't know what the exact details are, but it ended, it died, and you had a lot of what expectation or hope for what it could have been.
Yeah, it was an investment, you know.
Yeah, a time,
I got
energy,
into
money. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I got into this thinking that I would have some ownership, and
Right.
with ownership, I would have some security, and to have that kind of ripped out from underneath me very suddenly was, I mean, it broke my heart. If I'm being honest, like I'm
Yeah.
super emotional little baby. Like that whole situation broke my heart. It put me in a place that was
I'm a super
super
emotional little
super
baby
dark.
too.
Yeah,
My whole theory is that the reason tattoo artists get covered in tattoos is because on the inside we're just so squishy that we have to like throw out this exterior that's like, yeah, you know. I think
yeah.
when I was a little kid, when I was like maybe 11, 12, was like the first time I saw someone. There was this store. It was called Tip Top Gift Shop in Park Slope, Brooklyn. It sold like ninja supplies and like bongs or something, you know?
Hell yeah.
And, you know, like that's it. That's all they sold. And we would go, my mom would take us there to buy ninja supplies, as one does. And there was a guy covered in tattoos, huge gauges. You know, he'd stand by the door like this. And there was something in my little sensitive little child mind that saw him. And I was like, I will have one of those, please. Yes, I will take that. What he's having.
I want to be that when I grow up.
Right. Yeah.
It's all of a sudden it came to, I feel like that's the age when it comes to you. Like
Yeah.
11, 12, you're like, that's what I want. That's
Yeah.
what happened for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have huge gauges too. Not a lot of people know this. My ears, they're completely sewn up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
I used to have
Okay.
inch and a half. Like, yeah.
I'm like working my way up to an inch right now. Like 7/8.
Yeah. People don't know about. I used to do body suspension at tattoo conventions. I used to travel the United States with a crew of body suspension people hanging from my knees. I hung from my ass cheeks one time, hanging from my back, swinging around. I was like in the whole like body mod suspension crew
Damn.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You're deep in that.
I've lived many lives.
I see that, man. Like, I feel like every bit and piece I learn about you from your past, I'm like, this dude was something. Not just something in a whole, in a much more positive way, in my opinion, but like,
I think there was something positive about that. I mean, there was everything had its every rose has its thorn, you know.
yeah, sure does, doesn't it?
Every thorn has its rose.
Okay, Seal. All right, buddy.
But
It's transformation. It's
transformation, and that's what my whole life's about. My whole life is about transformation. Why be the same being throughout your whole life? You're a human being, right? You can't change the fact that you're a human, but your being, who you're being, how you're being in the world, that is malleable. And I learned that at a very young age, and I just thought that was cool. I was like, oh, you mean the beliefs that I grew up with about myself and the world around me aren't written in concrete? They're not the truth? That actually everything I believe is bullshit, and that's okay that it's bullshit, because then it leaves me free to believe anything that actually serves me. And so that's where a lot of the work in the Artful Dollar comes from, is just this like, deeper philosophical, spiritual ideas around being. And so I always joke with people too, like they take the program and they're like, I thought this was like a whole money course. It was like a life coaching course. I'm like, I tricked you.
No, that's what it feels like, man. You come out of this thing, and so long as you take it seriously and do the stuff, like there's a natural I can't imagine having done all this and not had a profound change in myself. And I mean, yeah, I'm hearing it all the time from people, and my partner is like, you're a different person. Like the people I'm around, my mom even is like, you're a different person. Like you seem lighter and like at peace. And it's very freeing. It has all been, that's the thing about change, is it is very freeing. That's why a clean slate always feels so good.
Fresh, clean piece of skin, clean slate. That is what it is, right? You had old belief systems, ideas, perspectives about money, about business, about art, about life, about yourself. And I always say, like, I don't want to blame anyone for my life. Like, my life is the way my life is, and you had circumstances, right? And there was things that were in your control and out of your control. But you could say that whatever programming you inherited and created over the years got you exactly into that moment with that shop, right? To the best of your ability, created that circumstance that wasn't working out for you. And sometimes situations like that can be a blessing because it kind of put you in this position where you're like, I want something new. I want to change cartridges.
Yeah.
You know,
Hard switch.
hard switch. And so then it opens you up to something that you might not have even been open to, this fucking crazy dude on Instagram talking about money stuff a year prior.
Right.
If you had come across. So apparently 88% of listeners have not left a review or subscribed. And I'm going to get right back to the podcast in just a second. But if you have found this episode helpful and you think that other people would benefit from listening, then all I ask in return is please just leave a quick review and subscribe. It'll take just 1 minute and it might help other tattooers and other artists find this podcast and help them out. So please, it would mean the world to me and it might actually make a difference for someone else. Thanks. For anyone listening, like, if you could give coaching, like, what do you tell your friends? The things you've taken away from it, what do you tell people? Like, oh, do this with your money, do this with your time. I don't know. I'm just curious, like, what kind of things do you share with other people that you've taken from the program?
I tell a ton of people, like, having the secondary bank account for your savings, that has been, like, I can save money now. There's
changer.
a system in place that puts that so far out of my reach that it stays there and it builds.
Yeah.
And
I think that alone is just a huge switch for people. And people will benefit just from putting that part of the waterfall money system in place 100%.
Yeah. That one thing, like, that everybody likes little hacks and tips and tricks. That's it. There's your one tip, one trick. But get a secondary bank.
You use a bank, get a different bank, another bank, not your bank. I like to use banks that aren't even physical banks. Like, I always recommend Capital One. Capital One, if you're hearing me, fucking sponsor me or send me some money, because you're not, but I would totally take it. They just have good interest rates, that's all, and they're easy to use. And you don't need a physical location. So open up that bank account, connect it to your current bank account, and set up an automatic transfer. Just start sending money. It just disappears into it. Almost becomes like that app that you subscribe to that you forgot that you subscribed to. Except you actually keep the money.
Yeah, and it builds and grows in that savings account. It's so funny. This morning, my secondary bank calls me, and they're like, hey, like, oh, we're calling our preferred customers. Like, do you want to open it? We have a checking account available here, too. Do you want to open, like, a checking account? I'm like, no.
No.
Like, no, that's not what this is, lady. Thank you. Like, click. Like, we're not doing that. Like,
right.
It was so goofy. She was so stoked that I stayed on the call with her.
Sure.
And I hit her with, no, ma'am, thank you.
That's another thing. I'll tell people, like, learning to just get comfortable, like, talking to the bank, like giving the bank a call. There's so many problems that people just put up with around their money, around their finances, that could be solved by just calling your bank and waiting on hold for 20 minutes. Yeah. And even then, I'm like, that 20 minutes that you're on hold is a gift from the universe to teach you patience.
Yeah, sure is.
Everything. We had our lesson today about abundance mindset, and I say abundance mindset is, there's so many misconceptions around what that is or what that means. All that means is that literally everything that shows up in life is an opportunity for growth, for learning. There are no problems. I don't have problems in my life. I have breakdowns, right, where things aren't working the way I want them to. And they're all an opportunity for the breakthrough to learn that lesson. And that's what abundance mindset is. It's not that, like, oh, your life just works perfectly and you have millions of dollars. Because I promise you, if I were to give you $1 million right now, you would have a million more problems.
I would. Boy, would I. Goodness, I would have so many problems with that kind of money. Just hand it to me.
And it's like, they can be good problems, but if our internal relationship with money isn't serving us at the level of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, well, what do you think is going to happen when you start earning $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year? What do you think is going to happen when you get an inheritance? I have talked to so many tattooers recently who either inherited money or, you know, had some windfall or a lawsuit or whatever it was. And they're like, yeah, I had 50K, I had 100K X many years ago. I now have nada. I now have debt. And it's like, okay, well, we're not accumulating. We need to recognize, okay, if we continue to do what we're doing for another 5 years, and it's a very different situation. Like, if you were to suddenly come into a windfall of money, what would you do with it? You get 50 grand. What's the first thing you do?
Pretend it doesn't exist. Throw it in my savings account and buy myself.
Exactly.
Like,
That's exactly what I tell people.
Exactly what I'm doing, as if it never happened.
Exactly.
Like,
Let it chill in that account for like 3 months until the emotions around it like start to settle, and then you don't make an emotional decision around your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start talking to people. Start learning. Like, I have this money now. What can I do with it?
Right.
What's a good investment? How do I turn that money that just came to me into an asset that's generating an income? That's my question if I have a windfall of cash.
You know the line of code that runs through people's minds that keeps so many people broke, and it fucking cost me probably over $100,000 and kept me broke for a long time. The line that runs through people's brains is, I deserve this. Mm. And so they earn a bunch of money, right? You have a week, you make 2-3 grand in a week. You're like, I deserve to buy this bullshit that I don't need. I deserve it because I worked so hard. Or I deserve to spend $100 on takeout on sushi tonight, which I've definitely done on multiple occasions. Which is like kind of the dumbest fucking thing to do. And look, I do dumb things with my money all the fucking time. I just have systems in place that keep me from doing too many dumb things with my money. But what you really deserve is you deserve to fucking save and put that money and give that money to your future self. That's what you deserve. You worked so hard for that money. What do you deserve? You deserve financial peace and freedom and ease and peace of mind in your life.
Yes.
And just kind of like calling it what it is and recognizing it. So anyone listening to this, and I'm sure, like when you catch yourself being like, I worked hard. I deserve, or I inherited 50K and things have been really hard. I deserve to blow 10 grand on whatever the fuck. Do you? Is that what you deserve? Or, right?
Or,
yeah.
And then just like, if you ask yourself that one, or just stop for a moment.
Right.
That decision will change. I'm catching myself doing that all the time. Like yesterday, I was in Best Buy, just screwing around, wasting time.
As one does, yeah.
And I come across a vinyl I've been looking for.
What was it?
The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. So anybody out there, Chapel Roan fans, love you guys.
Okay, not familiar, but all right.
She's up and coming pop star, outstanding.
Cool.
But
nice.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, I could, but it was $40, and I'm like, you know what? Or I could take that $40 and put it into like more of my tattoo order, get the things I want, or anything different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't have to waste it on like something that is actually pretty readily available should I have the money to spend on it.
You know what I was doing for a while? I used to invest heavily in the stock market. I don't do personal investing. I mean, I have like a retirement account, obviously, but I invest mostly in the S&Me 500, my business, coaching programs. Like I see the highest return from that. But when I was heavily more investing in the stocks, if I wanted to buy some bullshit that I didn't need, say it cost $200, I'd be like, all right, I can buy this, but I also have to invest $200. Mm-hmm. And that was like a little game I'd play with myself. Yeah. I can buy the stupid thing, but I also have to do something good for my future to afford. And it was like anything over $100.
Yeah.
If it was under 100, whatever, I'll blow some money. But if it was over $100, well, I can do it, but I have to save that money, invest that money. And it's just like sometimes these little games. I love playing games with money. I love making up games and making it a game,
Yeah. Making it a game makes it fun. I don't know if you're familiar with Bob's Burgers at all. But,
oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right? So season 15 just premiered, and that was a part of it. Is like there was a video game involved, and I immediately started thinking about like the Lighthouse game. Like when you make it a game, everybody wants to do it. So if you can make a game with yourself on your money, like it's going to benefit you and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
In the process.
So tell me about your experience with the Lighthouse game. For anyone that doesn't know, I could describe it, but what is the Lighthouse game?
So the Lighthouse game, it's a really well put together system of like tasks essentially. And each of these tasks for your business earns you points. So there's like weekly, daily, monthly tasks that earn like certain amount of points. And admittedly, I didn't like count the points.
And that's okay.
Right.
There's some people that don't count points, but they do it and they see
Yeah.
results, and that's fine. When I first invented the game, I literally created this game because I was like, shit, how do I consistently market myself? And I'm bad at, I need to be consistent, but I'm not. So what do I do? And I was like, oh, let me make up this game. I counted points for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I just lost track, and I was like, but then I had a habit. So that's the whole thing, is like, I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about the points. I care about you building a habit of marketing.
Yep.
Because what a lot of tattooers are doing is they're doing binge marketing, which
Yep.
is just like binge dieting or binge saving, right? It doesn't really work long term.
Yep.
Where like tattooers are like, oh, bills are due. Let me do a bunch of stuff, tell a bunch of people, and market myself. And then they book a couple appointments, and then they just fucking chill. Or they coast, right? Or they throw a picture up on Instagram, or they do a raffle, which raffle's not marketing. Raffle's a desperate attempt at getting some attention, but that's about it.
Yeah.
If you're doing a raffle out there, people do it. Right?
Dude, I didn't do a raffle. I did a giveaway where I was very much like best idea wins.
Cool.
Which
You made a game out of it. Yeah.
I made a game out of it, and it was great. That post got tons of reach, tons
Cool.
of followers, and if I book like one person off of that, that's
Right.
worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, making it a game makes it fun. So with the Lighthouse game, it was like, at first I'm like treating it like a game, but now I'm just like, if there's a lull, I have these things that I could do.
Right.
If I feel any lull, I'm like, okay, I could do this. Oh, I haven't been doing this so much lately. Let me
Right.
do this thing. So it's just like full of ideas that make you. It's inspirational. I get looking through those, and I'm like, oh, that, and I can do this idea with that and make it mine in this way, and then I don't know. It's kept me very consistent. I mean, I've seen my following jump probably 40%.
Wow. In just a couple months.
In just a couple months. And
that's awesome.
As long as I keep consistent with that, that's going to keep rolling. And I mean, I'm in a small town in Michigan.
Yeah.
So, but I'm on my way to moving to Long Beach. So I feel like once I'm in an area with a more dense population, that stuff is going to be even more effective. So priming that right now in preparation, I'll be there, end of summer, early fall next year. I'll be so heavily consistent with my habits in marketing that it's just, I see it going pretty crazy when I move out there.
That's awesome that you have developed a habit and a skill set that you already know you're going to be busy when you get out there. I'm not worried about it because you know exactly what to do.
I'm confident. And like, there's tons of ideas that I'm having now, and I journal about them. You know what I mean? So by the time I get out there, I'm going to have like a book.
Well, how is the Tatpocalypse hitting? You said, where are you located again?
Jackson, Michigan. So we're like
Michigan.
60 miles west of Detroit.
Have y'all been struck by the Tatpocalypse, or how's it going out there?
I personally am doing good.
Yeah.
Honestly, the shop I'm in now, it's a great little walk-in location. Everybody there stays busy.
Great.
There's not like a ton of us, but everybody's tattooing regularly. I personally am like, I've only got a couple days left this year available.
This year?
We're
in the beginning of October.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I probably have awesome. 5 or 6 days available.
Damn.
Yeah.
People got to jump on it. And we'll throw up some images of your tattoos or something too on the podcast. But what kind of stuff do you like to tattoo?
So I have moved into neo-traditional Japanese and like East Asian inspired art. I started by doing like new school, kind of moved around, did realism for a bit, but ultimately I got to a point where I had to like go back to my roots and be like, all right, what was I doing as a kid? Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of that like East Asian inspired stuff. My dad had it all around. One of the first tattoos I remember as a kid was he had like a little dragon right here. It's like this big.
That's cool.
So yeah, and now I like dragons are my thing. I'm working on a few dragons right now.
Yeah, you just took the dragon course, right? Like a drawing.
Yeah, the Bill Canales dragon workshop, dude.
I remember you showed us the before and after, and it was like complete in like 2 days or something like that, right?
It was 7 hours. It was a
1 day course, and like you did like it was a dragon, okay?
Yeah.
And then you were like amazing dragons, like 7 hours later.
Yeah,
it was sick.
Literally. It was That class was insane. It was pencil to paper for 7 hours straight. I think I peed twice. Like, but that was it. It was insane. And to like be around like a bunch of people and then to watch like Bill, like he's like, all right, and there you have a dragon head. It's
Right.
like, oh my
It's
god.
like that thing where it's like you draw the circle and then you draw the rest of the cat,
And
right?
then you
Or
draw the rest of the fucking dragon.
you draw the rest of the dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, but super beneficial. I'm working on some larger projects right now, and like the new designs on the dragons. It's night and day, and it's like we were saying earlier about like investing in yourself. Like taking that workshop made me more valuable,
Oh,
and
hands
that's
down.
something that I've been doing since very early in my career because I didn't have a crazy education.
Yeah.
Like I said, I apprenticed for 4 months, and it was out of the frying pan into the fire. You know what I mean? But
I think the best thing anyone that is an entrepreneur, if you and every single tattoo artist is an entrepreneur. So like looking at things from a purely investing standpoint, if we want to talk like investment portfolio, investing is not about the highest return, by the way, just for like anyone out there. They're like, oh yeah, you want to get the highest return. It's actually not what investing is about, believe it or not. Investing is about the lowest risk for the highest probability of a return. And so a smart, savvy investor would rather take a 3% guaranteed return over a 20% chance at a 50% return.
right,
Right? If they knew, oh, I can compound a 3% return indefinitely and I have no risk involved, they will take that. And so a smart investor, they also think about things in longer timelines, right? So when you apply that to investing in the stock market or investing in yourself, in your own business, a smart investor likes to invest in things that they know a lot about. So even if it's a stock, a company or an industry, right? A smart investor is going to invest in a sector that they know something about, like healthcare or medical. There was a really popular one for a while, whatever, like genetic stuff or AI or whatever. Like they're like, oh, I'm going to invest in companies that I know something about because I can tell you if this is going to grow or not, or at least I have a higher probability of determining that information. So if you look at yourself as a stock, that I heard someone say the S&P 500.
yeah,
Um,
I like that.
if anyone knows, the S&P 500 is the 500 largest companies in the United States. You can buy one index that invests in all of them. But that stock, the S&P 500, averages, again, there's no guarantees, it averages over the past 50 years about a 10% annual return. So if you invest $100, if things go on average, at the end of the year, you'll have $10. And then the next year, you'll have 10% of $110, which is what, $121 or whatever it is. I'm bad with math, actually. That's another thing. I'm bad with math. You don't need to be
Good thing we have
good.
calculators.
Exactly. You don't need to be good at math to be good at money. Now, if we take that same $100 and we invest it in the S&P 500, and I know that I can learn a skill, or I don't know. Do you mind sharing what did you invest roughly in that course?
In that course, it was 500.
$500. That's a fucking steal,
Dude, it was $500 and a drive to New Jersey, but that's fine.
And so let's take that. Let's take the $500. If we invested it in the S&P 500 on average, again, no guarantees in the stock market, you may gain or lose money. You could expect a $50 return on average at the end of the year. And the longer you have stuff invested, obviously the more. If you invested in yourself and you learn to draw better dragons, and you go from charging $120 an hour to $150 an hour, and then right there, you've made, on the first hour that you tattooed, you've made $30. So in scenario one, we make $50 after 365 days. In scenario two, we make $30 after 1 hour. And so when you really, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you invest in something. I don't know fuck all about 500 fucking companies.
No, not even a
right
bit.
Now, it's generally considered a good investment because it's diversified, but at the same time, then there's correlation, which is another topic we can dive into. I love talking investment stuff. These are not inversely correlated stocks, right? When Facebook goes up, Apple also goes up. When Apple goes down, Facebook also goes down. They're directly correlated. They're not inversely correlated. So then you get into advanced portfolio theory where you're like, okay, I want inversely correlated portfolio to balance out my risk so that when stock A goes down, stock B goes up. We're not diving into that, but I do like talking about it.
Yeah, it's cool. Maybe another time.
Another time.
Yeah.
But you're investing in a bunch of shit you don't know about. And so that's why you have to pick things that are inversely correlated and spread it out amongst 500 or 1,000 different companies, because you ultimately don't know. But when you invest in the one stock that you know everything about, that you have control over, that you have agency, and you get to say what this company does or doesn't do, right? You get to say, what time of day does this company wake up in the morning? How does this company treat their fucking clients? How does this company market themselves? You have all the agency to say and do what company S&P 500 gets to do. So I would rather invest $500 in that scenario all day long.
All day long.
Fucking day.
All day long. And it compounds in ways just like investing in the stock. I mean, I've been investing in myself in my continued education for 6 years, I think, has been like the first time I took like a paid course. I mean, I was doing stuff before that, like Fireside Network, lovely. But I did Explorer like 3 years into my career, and from that, I mean, I've jumped and jumped and jumped. I was charging like nothing back then, and not tattooing like very well at all back then, but doing that and taking courses and courses and courses. I mean, I've been in courses probably every year since that third year.
That's amazing.
You know, and that's how I do what I do, how I do it. I mean, I'm not
me as well. I have like, invested an embarrassing amount of money in,
like a lot.
Right now I'm in 3 different programs currently. I'm in a social media coaching program because I want to learn how to use the most powerful marketing tool on the planet. So I invested $20,000 into social media coaching a couple months ago. I put another $12,000 into an ads specialist. I'm learning how to run Instagram, Facebook ads. I put another $10K into speaker training to learn how to speak when I want to do more talks, more public speaking. Like, I could have taken that same $40,000, invested it in the stock market, or I can invest it in myself, in my business, and know, like, okay, I'm probably going to see a higher return in the first year from that. And even if it's not right away, you know, but you have to think in terms of like compounding over time. The chances of me not making my money back, at least making my money back, right? At least breaking even, are so low because I've seen the result. I'm investing in reputable companies that I know are capable of producing the result I want. And I believe in my own ability. So honestly, I think that's one thing I do see that is holding a lot of people back from investing in themselves is, like, say this dragon course, for instance. They see the results that people get. They see, oh, well, this person is clearly an experienced teacher and people are drawing this and then they're drawing that. But am I going to do it? Mm-hmm. It's like they believe in the product, they believe in the person, but they don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And you have to believe in yourself 100%.
That is number one. That is number one, man. That is not, and it's intimidating. Like, I get the fear. I've felt that fear enough. Anybody who's done like courses like that, like, you feel it. But if you you go in confident and you really just like take what's being given to you, I don't know. It is hard though. It does. It's come easy to me, man. Like, I believe in my motherfucking self. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about whether I'm gonna do it. But
right, and that's why you can invest in yourself so confidently because you believe in yourself more than anything. When you believe in yourself, you could literally hire a bad coach.
Yeah,
and still get more than your fucking money's worth.
Yeah, dude.
I've worked with coaches that I didn't really like them. I liked some of the material and stuff, but I fucking made sure I got my motherfucking money's worth. Ain't no way I'm fucking paying for this and not at least doubling my money in 1 year. No way. Like, I'm fucking getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
And that's just how I approach it. It's how I approach the program, you know? I'm going to get right back into it, but real quick, I wanted to let anyone who's feeling uncertain about your financial future know that, one, you are not alone. I speak to hundreds of tattooers and artists, small business owners all around the world every year, and it's very common to feel overwhelmed, confused when it comes to saving, investing, taxes, and all that stuff. And two, if you're looking for help with this stuff, I want to make it very easy for anyone who is serious about taking control of their financial future to book a one-on-one call with me. and get clear around what actions you can take to build financial security and freedom. So if you're interested in that, or you know someone that might be, you can hit the link in the show notes below to book a one-on-one financial future session with me personally. Now, I do charge a small fee for this, but I want to make it as accessible as possible. I also want to note that I take about 5 or 6 of these calls per month, so availability is limited, but I would love to get to chat with you and see how I can help.
Hey, you ever go to a course and you see the person that comes in and they clearly don't care?
Like the instructor?
No, not even the instructor, like a fellow like student. Like I've seen this happen where the student comes in and they're like, I know all this. I don't need this. And like,
yeah.
Like I've seen people like get up and walk out of things early. They're like, I don't need this. And I'm like, listen, brother, I've seen you tattoo and I think you need this more than anybody else in the room right now. But
yeah, I always tell people the most limiting belief that you could possibly have, the most limiting belief is that you don't have limiting beliefs. That's the most limiting belief. Do I have limiting beliefs? You better fucking believe I have limiting fucking beliefs. It's a never-ending story.
Yeah. That's human.
That's what it is to be human. I was telling if I were to remove all of your limiting beliefs, Lana, from your consciousness right now, you would cease to exist in physical form. You would raise up to the sky into a beam of light, and you would expand throughout the universe.
I would become. It would be like the end of Akira. I would become the universe. You'd be holding me in your hand, like
exactly. That's what happens. So if that's not currently happening to you at this moment, you have limiting beliefs.
I have limiting beliefs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and that's okay. That's not a problem. Yeah. It's like program. It's like some of y'all are operating Windows 95 in 2024, right? You're not a bad person.
No,
it's just you're wondering why things aren't working the way you want them to, and it's just you're just operating with the old software. So let's up that programming. Stuff that worked for you, the way you think about the world in your 20s. I wish this shit was just taught in school.
Man,
the way you think about the world in your 20s works in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, right? It doesn't work in your 30s. It definitely doesn't work in your 40s, and it most certainly is not going to serve a 50, 60, 70-year-old version of you. God, but so many people, they go through their 30s and through their 40s, and they never really take the time to audit their viewpoint of the world, their perspective, and they keep trying to change something, trying to get from A to B. And it's like Einstein says, you cannot solve a problem at the level at which it was created. Mm-hmm. And so people trying to solve their problems in life, first of all, they're not problems. You don't have problems. You have lessons to learn. Every breakdown is an opportunity to learn and grow. We don't have problems. That's one belief system. Right? Let me be honest. Like, does my life occur for me as if I have problems on occasion? Absolutely. 100%. Within 5 seconds, maybe max 10 minutes, maximum, I will quickly identify, I do not have a problem. I have a particular way of being, a belief system that I've been using to address this area of my life that hasn't actually been working, and I need to do that internal work. Mm-hmm. I need to sit with it. So I need to talk about it. I need to communicate it. I need to challenge that old belief system. And it's not fun. It's not comfortable. I mean,
no, it's hard. It's a hard thing to look in the mirror and be like, man.
What was like a really hard belief for you to challenge or move through?
Man.
I mean, the first one for me was that money is evil.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty standard.
Like, I knew money was evil. I knew it.
Yeah.
You ask me, what's money? I tell you, money is the root of all evil. It's the source of all pain and suffering on the planet. Is that the truth? No.
Right.
It was just a thing that I believed. That's all.
And I would say that one of mine was like it's always going to be, like, money's always going to be there. And, like, living, like, money was always going to be there. Like, I can always make it back tomorrow. I can always, I'm gonna make that back. Don't worry.
I can always make it back tomorrow, and I deserve this. Yeah. So fuck it.
Those two in tandem, oh my God. I think about the way that I was spending money in like 2022 especially. I look back at it and I'm like, oh my God. if I had had the mindset I have now back then, like I'd have tens of thousands of extra dollars to my name right now.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy to like that like $100 sushi order. I was doing that 4 or 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just disgusting spending habits.
I still go through it. Like all the stuff I teach, all the stuff I use all of it. I need all of it because I'm a fucking maniac. I'm like, right. You see what you see in this room that's nicely set up is just such a small, like, shitstorm over there. There's
Yeah, like
boxes of bullshit. There's a drum set that I haven't used in a while.
dude,
It's nonsense.
Everything over outside of here, just a disaster right now.
Yeah.
Laundry to put away. Like,
Right. I'm not trying to like fake it or anything. Like I just
yeah.
I want to make it look nice, but like
Yeah,
I'm
of
honest.
course.
Like I am an ADHD squirrel fucking attention, I struggle with it. I really struggle with hyper focus. Where I focus on one thing that everything else disappears. And I think it helped me as a tattoo artist a lot.
Yeah.
And I get obsessed. I get like weirdly obsessed with shit. And I think that, really going back to like struggling with addiction and stuff like that, I think it was a part of whatever, they say spiritual disease, makeup, whatever, psychological, spiritual dysfunction. I think every dysfunction, whether you have autism, ADHD, whatever you got, I think it ultimately can serve as a superpower depending on your relationship with it.
Yeah. I mean,
and so nothing's holding you back. It's just your belief system's about. Look at Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
One of the most incredible, influential, brilliant people with possibly more reason to blame his circumstances than anyone else for not accomplishing something, right? He could have gotten that ailment, realized that his body is going to deteriorate and he won't be able to use his muscles, and he could have said, well, fuck it. But his relationship with his dysfunction wasn't an unhealthy relationship. It was actually, he had a very healthy relationship with his whatever dysfunction, handicap, whatever you want to call it, that turned it into a superpower.
Yeah.
He was free in his mind. He was more free than you or I, So now, look, we can talk about it. Like, I've never been diagnosed with ADHD. I've been diagnosed with a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
That ain't the fucking truth about me. Right? Really, I was just a fucking drug addict. Like, that's what it was, and before I even used drugs, I was just a maniac. And sober 11 years now, and meditation, journaling, breath work, all the things that help. But all that stuff that I thought was a dysfunction that was holding me back, or the reasons that I blamed, it's like, if that's the relationship you have with it, and if you've been I'm saying for anyone, because I've struggled with treatment-resistant depression. I was in psych hospitals when I was 15, 16 years old. Actually, the first time I was 10 years old, because I was suicidal when I was 10. I had 12 treatments of electroconvulsive therapy. Like, I've been through the fucking ringer. I've seen some shit. And all those diagnoses, all those labels, it's just like, it just didn't serve me, I think labels in general can be very limiting,
It gives you something to place the blame on should you let it.
Right. It gives you a really good excuse.
Yeah. Like I can blame it on that all day. But it's at the end of the day, it's out of your control. And I see it all the time. People just handing their power to things that are out of their control on a platter. Like, here, take every bit of power I have. Just take it.
Right.
Just have it. I see it all the time, and I'm like, man, it's just turn inward. Just look in the mirror, put it on yourself, and I think you'd be happier. Like, I see people like give in to that and blame things, and especially on Instagram, it happens all the time. And I was just like, man, that's sad. Like, I just want to see you like turn inward and like, you've got so much energy, like turn it back and just blame yourself, like, and take responsibility and do the thing the way you want to do it.
Right. And so like, that's part of how we break down. So just recognizing that you have a limiting belief, like, okay, that's fine, but that doesn't really free you anywhere. I found it's like really breaking down, doing this audit. So like looking at, okay, well, what is it costing me to believe XYZ? That, what was the one you said? It was, that money will always be there. I'll always be able to make more of it. Right. That's a certain limiting belief, and it gave you a certain level of peace, right? So
Yeah.
there's a payoff. There's always a payoff and a cost. So payoff is, well, maybe I didn't have to worry about money so much as I maybe could or should have. I don't know. Not that you should worry about money, but it was costing you tens of thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Right? The payoff is, well, it was comforting to think, oh, well, it's fine. I'll just make more money.
I didn't have to be responsible for it.
Right. That's the other payoff.
Yeah.
People might think that's a cost. It's not a cost. That's a payoff.
Yeah.
You get to avoid being responsible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get to avoid being responsible for a few things. You get to avoid being responsible for money and the impact that your actions or inactions have on yourself and other people. And this is the biggest one. The hardest thing for people to take responsibility for is taking responsibility for your fucking greatness.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Oh my God, yeah.
That's the hardest thing, because if I actually took 100% responsibility for my greatness, God, what if I fuck up? What if I make a mistake? Mm-hmm. What if I look bad?
Yeah.
And it's like all of those things, looking bad, I saw someone said embarrassment is the price of greatness.
It sure is. Man, it sure is.
You have to be willing to look like a fool if you want to achieve greatness. Look at anyone out there that's achieved like serious levels of greatness, whatever you define that as, right? You, the listener, whoever. Like, you see the greatness. You weren't there for the time they fucked it, right? I'm doing a lot of public speaking, right? Y'all weren't there. The first public speaking thing I ever did at a tattoo shop I owned, 4 or 5 years ago. I put up all these flyers in this building, has all these private tattoo studios in it. It was like this building, really cool building in Brooklyn. And I was promoting it on Instagram. This is when I first got started, literally like 4 years ago. And promoting it, telling people, I talked to all these tattooers that I showed up at their studio. I knocked on doors. I didn't give a fuck. I'm just like, hey, here's my flyer. I just want to talk about money and it's free. Just come. Like, let's just talk. Mm-hmm. And I got all prepared. I bought snacks and everything. One person showed up. I was willing to look like a fool.
Yeah.
And you have to be. And you know what? I fucking made it work. We had a great talk. Me and that one person that showed up to my seminar, right?
Yeah, right.
We had a great talk. It's like, I don't fucking care. Am I going to be buried in the fucking ground and have my gravestone say, like, could have fulfilled potential, but...
Could have, but was afraid of being embarrassed.
Right.
Like, yeah, man, it's hard. Like, taking responsibility. Like, I have aspirations for myself. I have pretty high aspirations, high ambition. And it's going to take a lot of, like, putting my ass out there. That's what it takes. Like, I'm hosting, like, a critique night with the people at my shop and some people that they're friends with even tomorrow night. And I've never done anything like this, but I want to move into some more, like, educator roles. Amazing. Seminars, whatever it may be, or even just being able to be a better mentor should my next apprentice come along.
Sure. And
I'm nervous. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. I could fucking embarrass myself. I could go up there and completely botch the critiques, and then everybody, like, people could be mad at me for what I have to say about their work. Like, so many things could happen, but I'm not afraid to be responsible for that now. Like, that's the thing. That's the transformation. Is like 8 months ago, before this course, I probably wouldn't have done it, especially with the resistance I've experienced in this critique night, like the coming up on the critique night.
Like, people are resistant to doing it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are they saying? What are their...
Just like, so my boss...
Oh, I'm busy. I got something...
No, not even that. Like, my boss, Emily, is like, I don't know. Like, I haven't really, like, had a good critique. Like, I've had critiques that kind of leave me feeling, like, icky and, like...
Gotcha, yeah.
And stuff like that where, like, emotions come into it.
Yeah.
But I know that what I have is so fucking critical that I'm going to deliver it.
Yeah.
And there's a chance I could embarrass myself. There's a chance that I could do it in a way that she's like, man, I never want to get critiqued again.
Right.
But
you're willing to risk it. You're willing to risk that.
Yeah. From where I'm standing, the risk is teeny tiny for what the reward is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say anything is possible through communication. Mm-hmm. Anything is possible.
Absolutely.
A business, a relationship, the life you want,
Yeah.
It's all possible through communication.
Yeah.
And what you say matters, but how you say it matters so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's being responsible for what you say and how you say it, taking full responsibility for it, taking responsibility for how it might be perceived or land with other people, even if that wasn't your intention. That's what it takes to achieve greatness.
Yeah. And it's something that personally, like communication, I never saw it as my strong suit. And that's one of those back end like limiting beliefs I've been working on.
That's wild. You are such a powerful communicator. You are, like, just in the short period of time that I've gotten to know you, like, you're a natural communicator. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been working really hard on it. I've always heard and been told that like my communication is maybe a little too blunt or a little too aggressive or this, that, and the other thing.
I've been told that too.
I've let that bog me down, but like
I like to slap people, but like lovingly, like like believe me, if I didn't actually care about you, I wouldn't even be telling you this. Seriously. Right? I'm gonna tell you what you need to fucking hear, only because I actually care. Yeah. If I didn't care, if I didn't like you, I'm not gonna talk.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna. It's like that scene in Billy Madison where the fat kid like wants to grow up and go to high school, and Adam Sandler's like, stay here for like you have to tell that kid that, but
right.
Like that's how I am with these people with these critiques.
Right.
Like,
just do this, yeah.
And like so yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I've been instilled with these limiting beliefs, and I am trying to work them out, and I have become more effective of a communicator in just since we met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. You're
gonna be on a TED stage one day.
I would love that.
What would you talk about if you were thrown on a TED stage?
I would.
It'll probably change over time, but in this moment,
I would find a way to talk about tattooing because tattooing is what I know the most. But like, I would love to get to a point talking about like either like art or fashion or just like some of these other passionate endeavors I have.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
If you could leave people with one message, one thing that you feel, a message you want to spread, that you want to infect people with, what would that message be?
Follow me on Instagram. No.
Yes.
Follow me on Instagram. Let me get the plug.
For real. I just told like shine your fucking light. Like people are like, I don't know how to market myself. I'm like, grab a megaphone, stand on a parked car, and tell everyone what your fucking Instagram is while you fucking twerk and like wave a fucking torch around. Like, so believe me, people will follow you and you will get clients from it. Right?
I'm gonna mutiny your podcast and be like, all right, follow me at Lana Kane Tattoos on Instagram. And other than that, man, just like be kind. Just be kind to yourself. Be patient. I know you've listened to us talk about a lot of things, and maybe some of those things you don't have a handle on, you're working on, whatever. But it's all a journey, and being kind to yourself and being kind to others is going to make that journey a little easier for you. So that's my last bit.
I love that. 100%. I heard someone say once, he's like, if I could teach my kids anything, it would just be to be kind.
Yeah.
Just be kind to yourself.
I had a spiritual journey to the lower world one time, and my turtle spirit animal told me be kind. That was his last bit of advice he left me with.
All right.
So.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let me pass that
Lana, you're just, I fucking love you. I seriously, I just love, you are such an incredible human being.
I love you too, man. We got to get me out to your shop to guest.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out.
Come out to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
We'll get together. I know we're talking about like doing some other retreats and stuff in the future, and
we got to hang out in person.
I know. We gotta make it happen. Cool.
We'll make it happen.
One of these days, whether it's at a convention or it's here in New York or whatever, absolutely. Yeah. I can't wait to give you a big hug.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be a good day.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways for you to help other artists is to share this episode. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel, and you never know what a difference it might make for someone else. Plus, I will forever be grateful for your support. So I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your day.